Tam looks frozen.
Not that.
There we
Not
We're
confused.
back. We're live.
I don't know what the heck happened, but sorry, guys. Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Tam?
I am doing very well. Hi, everyone. How you doing? This is Naomi, House of Miscellanea. I decided just to have her just talk on it with me, and that's how I usually do things. I don't usually bring them in. I just had you double on things with me. Let's see. Let's see who's here. When that okay. Um, Lee takes the trash and recycles out to tell a variety of finger foods and snacks. I can't talk today. Soft drinks and various waters on the table. Took some Oreo to chicken milk. Thank you. Along with white, dark, and milk chocolate fountain, pretzels, marshmallows, and fruit to everyone. Welcome to NND, downtown the NND community. Help yourself. Come on in, grab a snack, and hit the like button on your way out. So, thank you, Lee, for that awesome thread. As usual, I had to fight to get my Oreos and milk on the table just so you.
Oh, man.
I did. He was like, nope, gotta start a channel. So I had to start a channel of the Oreos and milk.
There you go.
That's all right. Okay, let me come on down here. I was trying to, didn't I? I always had chat put us on my phone too. Just, I don't know, just I had it.
Right.
Where am I at? Hi, Kat. How are you doing? My favorite is here. That's the Lenore.
Oh, you have a favorite?
Yes,
Don't
I
tell
do.
anybody else.
Now, the Leeson did my favorite. And I'm sorry, it's his last, Lenore. Hi, Jody. Thank you for being here. Hello, Nia. What's going on over there in Denmark? How are you? Hi, Maria. And let's see. Ditsy! You're doing just snarky things to us. Thank you for being here. You're choosing wonderful life just right now. Having the time of her life, I'm sure, without me, that's okay. She's here. Thank you
Right.
for being here, Dit. I appreciate that. Hi, Judith. How are you? And Marie. And Courtney. Hi. How are you? How's it going? How's your beautiful children? I thought she thought some beautiful kids. They're wild and funny, but beautiful. So,
Yes, yes.
what's going on today? Um, uh, I lost my train of thought.
Oh.
I did. I lost my train of thought. It's been a week. I've had a rough
Yeah.
few days. Um, I wanted to have Naomi here today. She is. I met her for the third time during the Let's Alert Alert 24-hour live,
Yes.
and I was very impressed by her. And I was, I am, and I'm talking like you're not here.
That's okay.
I was very impressed by you. And yes, they are beautiful and wild, but not the homeschool stuff. Courtney homeschools her kids.
Yeah, no, I know Courtney. How you doing, Courtney? And hi, Sparkle Dust and Diamonds.
Yeah. I should let you say hi to everybody tonight.
I know. Hello, honestly. I think you got most everybody that was in the chat. But yeah, so you were on my 24-hour live. I decided to be some sort of a crazy person when I was well pretty new in my YouTube days, but earlier in my YouTube days, I decided to diamond paint for 24 hours and I decided to broadcast it live. And I was surprised, one, with how many people were actually there. And two, with how many people actually stayed almost the entire time. There's a few people that were literally there from the moment I went live to the moment that I signed off for the night. And it was an amazing live. I'm going to do it again next year. That's the plan. But
Awesome.
the reason that I did that was to bring awareness to mental health and addiction issues. It is a subject that's really near and dear to my heart. And so I thought, May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and I wanted to do something to bring about awareness to recovery as well.
Well, I did miss that. I kind of watched some on the replay, and I was very done that I missed the start of it, and I caught the middle of it, some of it, and then I caught the end that I was very done because I don't know if you know this, don't mean that I don't sleep. So
Yeah.
I would have what note to that. But like I said, I hadn't really met you, so I didn't know
Right.
about you.
Nobody really knew me. My channel was a baby then, infant
Yeah,
baby then.
I know.
And I was surprised with how many people like kind of took a chance on me to sit in the live with me. And I'm honestly how many people end up showing up to my lives since, or that, subscribe to my channel. I hit 1,000 subscribers really faster than I think I expected. It was something that, yeah, it was something that happened very, very quickly. And I kind of keep a steady climb, whatever, but that wasn't the point of my starting my channel. It was literally the reason I wanted to start my channel was, one, to teach new diamond painters how to diamond paint. And then two, because so many people who diamond paint have mental health issues, I wanted to make sure that, there was a space for people, one, to learn about addiction and recovery, two, to learn about mental health awareness and mental health issues, but three, a place to talk about it, because we do a lot of talking about our own problems, but we don't talk solutions to those problems. And I wanted to open up a space for people to be able to discuss those solutions, because oftentimes you'll have someone that, they tell you they want to talk, right? But really what they want to do is dump their emotional baggage into your backpack and walk away. Like, here, I gave you this, and I don't really want to fix it. I just want to bitch about it, excuse me. But it's kind of the way they are. And then they don't want to talk about solutions. Well, I'm one of those people that I will be like, yo, before you dump this in my backpack, let's talk about how we can fix that problem. And I'm not going to fix it for you. You're going to tell me how you're going to fix it for yourself. And recovery has to be handled in that same way. Mental health and recovery they go hand in hand. I mean, if you don't have a healthy mind and a healthy spirit, then you're never going to have a healthy body, So
That's true.
important to talk about the solution to the problems and not just the problems. And I've seen some channels out there that claim to be about mental health, and often it'll be about the host's mental health, and it's sort of a venting space for them to just kind of complain about their problems, not talking about the solutions to those problems. And I saw a need, excuse me, I saw a need community, and I thought, I mean, I don't know if I can fill it, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot at least putting my shoes in.
Well, I think that's a wonderful thing because there's not, like you said, I've seen some channels that, like you said, claim to do more about mental health, and when I listen, it's not really what I think a mental health channel should
Right.
be. And
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm just not one to want to just hear your problems all day long. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care to listen, but after a
Right.
while, I want to know, well, what you do to fix it, so
Right.
you turn it
Right.
around. And I I don't watch a lot of those channels, I'll be honest, I don't, because
No, I tune them out a lot.
they bring me down, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of person. I like to be up and in the light, not down in the dark. That's just,
Right, precisely.
you
And you had
know,
you had started to ask me what I'm working on when we were prepping for the live. I'll tell you a little bit about what I got going on here. Okay. This particular, this is called Loto Lunar by Ultramar. Excuse me. This is from Lazy River Crafts. It's kind of tiny, but there's a picture of what she's supposed to look like.
oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, and I am just about to the top of her head right here. This is where I'm at. So like right there, that's where I'm at in the piece. I've been working on this one, oddly for me, a long time. It's not normal for me to have a diamond painting go this long, you know. But I'm kind of taking my time with it, enjoying it, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on. And then whenever you're ready, because it's a long one, I would love to tell you a little bit about kind of my adventure, right? My addiction adventure and how I got into recovery and where I am today. But first, have you had your snacks? Are you hydrated?
And no, I'm hydrated. I've had my snacks. I've had my shower. And I'm all
Are-
here. I am here, all here. I was a little stumbly when we started, but
That's okay. Listen, that's in the past now.
that's in the past, and now I'm
That's in
ready.
the past.
And, I really like. I look up to you, so sometimes I do a
Oh,
little,
thank you.
and I just
Uh,
I'm all over the
well,
place.
please do not. Please do not. Um,
I
I
really admire you. I do. So you talk when you say believe you. I'm gonna give you the platform. That
well, thank you very, very much. Well, as she said, my name's Naomi. Um, I have a channel called House of Miscellanea Diamond Painting. The roots behind that name, I'll go into if somebody really wants me to, but that's not the point. Um, I about I would say back in maybe 2010, no, earlier than that, 2005. Um, I had a back injury. Uh, Nothing really like I didn't fall off a house or anything like that, but I had a really bad back injury. A couple of years after that, I was working at the Humane Society where I was heaving around, 100-pound dogs. I was all over the place wrestling with, whatever wild animals to get them into the back of my truck when I had to. And I was moving bags of food and like 50-pound bags of food. I was kind of heaving them into a pile. And the back injury that I'd had from a couple years earlier, I made it much, much worse. I went to the doctor, whom I had been seeing since I was a teenager, and my doctor prescribed me opiate medication. And I guess back then we were not very well educated as we are now with kind of the dangers of opiate medication. In fact, for those who have not seen it, there's a show on Hulu. It's called Dope Sick, and it kind of talks about the roots of where the opiate epidemic came from. And what I didn't realize behind the scenes was that doctors were getting kickbacks and bonuses and money for prescribing certain medications to people, one of which was Oxycontin. Um, they had convinced doctors to tell people that Oxycontin was not as addictive as other opiate medications. Um, and, you know, when a doctor prescribes you something, you think, my doctor's here to help me. My doctor's looking out for me. And like I said, he'd been my family doctor forever. Well, when he prescribed me the medication, I didn't think anything of it. All he said to me was, you know, you don't really have any history of addiction, so you don't really have much to worry about. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, one, that you don't need to have a history of addiction to become addicted to an opiate medication. Um, it's an addictive chemical by nature. And two, I actually do have a very, very long history of addiction for a lot of different reasons. Um, Family history, my own use, all kinds of things. Well, so sorry, that's Beans. Beans will boof every now and again.
I have a dog too, so don't be surprised if mine does.
Oh, right. Yours will be here and mine, they'll start together. But so I was taking the medication and this back injury was bad. I mean, I was out for weeks and taking this medication constantly, right? Well, the way that an addictive chemical like an opiate works is it tricks your brain into it produces serotonin, it produces all those feel good feelings, and it breaks your body's ability to create those things for itself, right? So I was taking this medication, it was giving me dopamine, right? Because that's what it does. And my body stopped learning how to produce it on its own. And so what happens is when you try to stop taking this medication, the pain that you were already feeling becomes worse and worse and worse and worse, so that over time you need more and more and more and more medication. So over time, now this is a span of 10 years, mind you, over time, I went from taking a small amount to an amount that would knock out an elephant. They had me taking all kinds of things, pills on pills on pills. And it was like any time that I would start to feel like it wasn't working anymore, because that's the other thing that happens. Your body becomes used to it. I was taking more and more and more and more. Well, I remember I had switched doctors at one point because my insurance changed. So my regular family doctor was no longer my doctor. I started seeing a new doctor, and this new doctor, where the opioid epidemic just bubbled. It ballooned, because this is a decade later. All this time I've been taking my medication the way it was prescribed, because most people who did, right? But over time, the medication was less effective. I started seeing this new doctor, and I remember I went into his office, because this was back when you had to go in and actually pick up your prescriptions. He basically, I went in to pick up my prescription. The nurse came out with a prescription for a completely different medication. And I looked at it and I was like, what's this? It was Ativan. Okay. Ativan is an anti-anxiety medication. It is not an opiate. It's not for pain. It's not for anything. And I said, well, what's this? She said, well, the doctor said that he's not going to be writing you your usual prescription. This is going to help you with withdrawals. And I was like, what? What do you mean with withdrawals? What are you talking about? She's like, he doesn't feel comfortable writing you the prescription, but he's going to give you this. And I was blown back, right? One, I didn't know anything about recovery. I didn't know anything about addiction. I did not with regards to this medication. I didn't know what the doctor meant by withdrawing anything. All I know is in that first 24 hours, when I started to lose, when the medication started to come out of my system, my pain levels went from tolerable to completely unmanageable, because that's what an opiate does. Well, so that was when things really started to go off the rails for me. In regards to, it was no longer just like my body was addicted, but my mind was addicted too. I started asking friends and family members for old prescriptions. If I couldn't find it, like my days were never like normal. My pain was manageable, anything. It was always up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And because I wasn't taking a steady, like you're supposed to, with regard to opiate medication, you are supposed to titrate off, meaning you take a smaller dose, a smaller dose, a smaller dose, a smaller dose, until eventually you are off of that medication. You don't stop cold turkey. It's actually dangerous for a person to do that, especially when that person, like me, was taking that medication for over a decade, right? I had to resort to getting it any way I could get it. I was buying it from people that I knew, or I was being introduced to people that could get it for me by really just shady means. This was, thank God, before fentanyl was a problem, because I've been sober as of this last July for 5 years. And
Fantastic.
God willing, I'll have 5 more.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
Thank you. But I was buying the medication in bottles. I was spending $300 to $500 a day. Money I didn't have to spend, mind you. It was my check. My check was gone, just gone. Um, and dangerous ways too. Like, just I look back on it now, and it was crazy because I went from taking a normal prescribed dose to I was sitting down and taking medication like a bowl of Cheerios. I should not be alive, honestly, Tam. I should not be here today.
Wow.
Um, because a person my size, I'm 5'2", I weighed maybe 100 pounds then. I I I shouldn't be here. Honestly, I don't know if I have an iron gut or what happened. Maybe it was just to spread the message, but um it was bad. And I I had an incident, which right now I don't I'm it's not important to the story, but I had an incident that had happened that kind of put a stick in my bike tire, so to speak, and slowed me down enough that I needed to go into recovery. I needed to go and get help, because by that point I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I was taking thousands of milligrams at a go every day. I was burning through money I didn't have. Um, and when I did finally decide to seek recovery, um, it was one, it was a decision that had to be made. And two, do you know it is nearly impossible to get the information that you need just to get sober? I started with a Google search to try and figure out, like, okay, okay, do I Google like recovery centers? Like, where do I start? Um, I put my information in to, these different websites, and then I would get these calls like, yeah, come and do recovery in Malibu. There was these scams out of Florida where you weren't actually going for recovery. Basically, it was an insurance scam. Oh my God. Um, it wasn't until I reached out to my local crisis, because this by now was, I think, day two. I hadn't had any medication. I was an absolute mess. I was in complete pain. I was sick as a dog. And my crisis center told me to go to my hospital, my local hospital, that they would do like what's the word I'm looking for? An assessment. They would do an assessment, and then they would refer me to a detox center. So I did that, and I went into recovery on the 6th of July in 2019. And then I started in detox days. That was a nightmare. And then I went into inpatient rehab for another 34 days, at the most beautiful recovery center that I thank my higher power every day that I was able to find my recovery, and that hopefully everybody else will too. But like I said, I've celebrated 5 years now, and after I got out of inpatient rehab, I lived, breathed, I slept, and ate the 12 steps of AA and NA. And for anyone who is seeking help with addiction, one, please, please make sure you're reaching out to your local crisis centers. It's very, very important. They can give you information that you didn't even know you needed. And then two, make sure that you're doing so, that you're doing your recovery, your detoxing, all of that under the supervision of professionals, because you're not going to find success trying to do it on your own. But thank you, Mia. Thank you. And so I kind of started then on my mission of helping others to seek and find recovery. I didn't know it was a problem until it was a problem. It started out really innocently, and it does usually for people. And the other thing is, people will walk up to me sometimes and they'll say, "Well, you don't look like an addict." I'm like, "Well, what does an addict look like?"
Right.
That's you
Right.
expect maybe a hobo under the bridge, right? With a brown bottle and somebody who's homeless and toothless
Yeah.
and you have all these pictures in your mind of what an addict might look like. And I'm trying to destigmatize addiction, that we look like everybody else, addicts do. It's not just a hobo under a bridge, right?
No.
um
Not at
and two, you can be anybody and have an addiction.
mhm.
um and when you're ready to fix it, I'm here and ready and willing and able to help and listen, because we all need somebody in that fight too. And in my journey on YouTube, in my journey in and out of recovery rooms where I'm from in Wisconsin, um that it amazes me every single day how people don't even realize that it's a problem until it's a problem, and that it's harder to find help than you even know. But it's out there. You got to look for it. That's really what it is.
It's struggle. I have family members
Yes.
that are dealing with this. I have a cousin who is more like a sister to me.
Yeah.
Actually, the one that started helping me with my videos, and then I learned how to do it alone. But
Mhm.
actually, in her second round of drug court, she realized
Yeah.
that she's working away that she had a hard time, but she also had an abusive marriage. So
Yeah, that doesn't help.
no, that was her way of self meditating it
Yes.
her, and then along with she had some health issues that caused it pain. So with the health issues and the marriage, and then she really down in deep over her head, and she
Well,
should
now
not.
you're in Kentucky, right?
Yes,
Okay, so the funny thing is that drug companies like well, Big Pharma, being Purdue Pharma, was the one that kind of convinced people that Oxycontin was safe. They came for your people, the Appalachians people, first. They
yes, that
started giving it out to people in coal miners, and people in your part of the South do really, really hard labor jobs.
yes,
And so they thought, okay, well, there's lots of pain down here in Kentucky. Let's go ahead and start there. And
yep,
literally did a campaign across Kentucky to try and get people who were coal miners to try the medication first. And they got your people hooked first. It started right where you're at.
yes, it did.
All the
It
misinformation and lies, that all started right where you're at.
it
So
sure
good
did.
for her that she was able to find recovery.
Yes, she did. I mean, it's bad here. I mean, it really is
Mm-hmm.
bad. And they just tax it out like candy here.
Yep.
I don't understand that because there are I now some people need it and they take it right, but then some people they after
Well,
a while they didn't need it.
but
And
that's the thing. I needed it and I took it right until I didn't.
right.
And it's funny too. if you watch Dope Sick, which I highly recommend it, it's on Hulu. Um, it'll tell you too about how it starts very innocently with some people, and
Mhm.
it can destroy your whole life just taking it as prescribed. And it's it's sad to me too that the doctors specifically are giving out all of this false information just to make a dollar. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Right.
sick. It's just terrible.
It is, and I
And
mean,
innocent
real
people are dying,
yes, they
taking
are,
their medication like they're supposed to. They're still dying.
and young people. I mean, young,
Mhm.
18, 20 years old,
Absolutely. And I
and
don't know anybody who is not in some way affected by addiction or alcoholism. Um, it's everybody has been touched in some way. And Kathy, good for you. She says I got clean long before Oxycontin. I'm congratulations because it's terrible.
it is, if I'm not mistaken, you've been clean about 30, 47 years, haven't you, Kathy? She's been clean a really long time.
Oh, good for you.
I had her to death on here, her and Eve, and they both been through the recoveries, so,
Mhm.
um, and then I had my cousin on here at some point, just to, 'cause she new to the recoveries, and I just,
Oh, okay.
39 years, Kathy said 39 years she's been clean. It's hard,
Wow. Mhm. Every
hard,
day is hard. And you know,
mm-hmm,
like I don't live with the obsession anymore. I've been lucky enough that the program has taken that obsession from me, and the program tells you that, it takes time, but that obsession will be lifted. Um and I I thank, like I said, I thank my higher power every day for AA and NA. Those rooms saved my. So if nothing else, if you can't go to a friend, if you can't go to a family member, go to a meeting. Those people there, there's nothing they haven't seen, there's nothing they haven't heard. You're safe in those rooms. And that was what I was the most scared of. And I agree with you, Mia. It is what's wrong with the health system.
mm-hmm.
Pharmaceutical companies should not be going directly to doctors.
No.
Doctors are not, like, the reason we have pharmacists versus doctors. A pharmacist knows what interactions there are, they know everything about the drug itself. A
Mm-hmm.
doctor is supposed to take that knowledge and then apply it to a specific problem, but they have to work hand in hand with a pharmacist, not a pharmaceutical company. They're just there to make a dollar, you know?
I started out doing pharmacy in school. I got accepted into pharmacy school, and then
Okay.
happened, and I didn't go. But that's why I wanted to do what I do, because I wanted to understand the interaction of how it affects the body, and
Mm,
because a lot of times when I had questions, I found myself asking my pharmacist other than my doctor when it came to
yep.
drugs. And
Yep.
they had the most knowledge. And I wanted
Absolutely.
a hospital type, recovery type pharmacy. Um,
Mhm.
I didn't really want to do the drug. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't want to do like drug stores, and I wanted to do the hospital and actually
Yeah.
work with the patient. Because that's what my hospital does. The pharmacist goes into the room and they actually talk to the patient and ask how the drug doing for you. And
Yeah.
versus the doctor who says, "How are you? Do you need a refill?" and leave.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so.
A
But
little
yeah,
more hands-on.
I do agree. And there's a system that is crumbling here.
Mhm.
Need to it needs to be. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know where to start. But
Right. And I don't know that you and I will be able to. I don't even know that the government necessarily will be able to, except for with regard to the opiate epidemic specifically, right? Um, it was actually a huge, huge controversy because the FDA allowed a label to be put on Oxycontin specifically that allowed them to give it to doctors with a label that said it may not be as addictive. Well, that's just simply not true. That
no.
is just not true. An
Mm.
opiate is an opiate is an opiate, and it is the same basically as heroin. And if you allow them to write those prescriptions, then you need to tell them about the warnings because yeah, my doctor looked at me and said, "Well, you don't really have that much risk for addiction," which is not true. My mother is was an alcoholic. My father used all kinds of drugs when I was younger. I have a family history of addiction. I was experimenting with drugs from a very young age. Um, so the fact of the matter is that to me it felt like he probably made some money off of that and some money off of me, and I can't express enough how much the show Dope Sick opened my eyes to what was going on. And I at first I watched it and I had that aha moment, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is exactly what I experienced. And then I started to get mad. Oh, I was just furious with I felt like I'd been duped, you know? I felt like that was my doctor and my doctor duped me all for $1, you know? Like
And it's still happening. It is.
all over the country, all over the country. And there's a huge difference between, you're using it as prescribed, it's for pain. I mean, granted, if you try to come off of it, you're going to experience even more pain because that's how the medication works.
Mhm.
Um but it can become a problem when people who are taking it as prescribed are still dying of overdoses. Why? We don't really know. It just the body stops, the lungs stop working, the heart stops working, and
Mhm.
it's just there's got to be a better way. And like, here's the thing. I'm kind of a hippie. Okay, I'll go there. We have a lot of states where, and this is a little bit controversial, we have a lot of states where marijuana as far as medical use is legal. I am not in one of those states. I'm bordered on all sides by states that allow it, but I feel like if marijuana had been legal for medicinal purposes when I hurt myself, I never, ever, ever would have tried an opiate medication. I would have managed with marijuana instead. And I probably would not have experienced all the things that I experienced. Now, granted, I don't regret the things I've learned. I just think that there was a better way for me to have learned it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. That's not that is not the first thing that they do here. In fact, that's the very last thing they offer you here.
Right.
Um, I mean, it really is, and I don't understand that because it's a lot to. Oh,
It's safer. It's
yeah,
not addictive. Like,
that
you can't become chemically dependent on marijuana. There are no additives to it that make you dependent on it. You can become, you can become psychologically addicted to it because you like the way it makes you feel or whatever, but you cannot become chemically dependent on it the way you can on an opiate medication.
to me it's less dangerous, a lot
It's
less dangerous,
so
and
much less
more
dangerous.
it's more addictive in some ways. I mean, it really is. It's more
Yeah, the
addictive,
worst that could happen with some marijuana is you get the giggles and you go to sleep.
and you got or the munchies, and you
Right,
eat
or the munchies. You
eat
eat
like
yourself out of house and home.
I don't understand. You know, really, I I wish that that was more of an option. I really
Right.
it's
Yes.
a lot easier on the mind and the body.
Very much so. I don't see anybody who comes out of like marijuana use with teeth that are completely destroyed, a body that is completely destroyed. I mean, it took it took a solid 3 years for my liver to recover from just all of the Tylenol, the acetaminophen that's inside of um opiate medications like Vicodin. Uh yeah, I my liver was completely just messed up. Um I I've never seen anyone who uses medical marijuana have any of the same issues that I had. And so I am very much for advocating the legalization of medical marijuana in every state. I feel like our opioid epidemic would probably die down much faster if I mean I they have actual proof that in states where marijuana is legal like for medical purposes, their opioid crisis is down by massive percents.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that I mean, yeah. I I had known some people that have had a very. I mean, it was not good for them. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
marijuana,
Well,
but
I don't use it. I personally do not use marijuana, and here's why, Tam. The thing is, I'm an addict. I am an addict who's in recovery, but I'm an addict. And I know that if I was to use marijuana, I would be using it for the wrong reasons because I know that there's that other part of it where it alters the way that you feel and think. And so I can't take it. I can't because I'm an addict. But I feel like my life would be a very different story right now if it had been available instead of an opiate medication for me to take for my pain.
right. That
Because for some people, even marijuana can set you down a path of destruction, you know?
and I mean, like Dixie said here in a comment, they get high and they drive. That's dangerous. I mean,
Yeah,
make smart choices no matter what form of drug that you use. Um, it's just the difference really is most people it's less. It doesn't touch your life as much as an
right,
opiate does. I mean, there's an
right,
upside and a downside to everything. I mean, there
right,
is.
exactly. Exactly. And no, I don't think that people who are going out getting baked or whatever need to be behind the wheel of a car. You know what I mean? Like, but there are so many ways now where you can use marijuana where it is not for of getting high. In fact, there are strains that you can get where you don't feel those effects. You literally just feel the healing effect or the pain relieving effect or whatever it is that you needed to take it for. Like they've got strains now down to a science where you can take out all of those like those heady funny feelings that you get when you're high and your head's just like a fishbowl or whatever. They've got so much science into it now that it's not even the wacky tobacco of the 70s that it used to be, or even the 90s. I was messing around with weed. Um, but I just wish that there had been better alternatives for pain relief when I hurt myself because I don't think I would I don't think I would have had the same experiences as I did if I would have had a different option, you know? And it's not, I mean, there's no perfect system, but I feel like marijuana users are a whole lot more easy to control or, you know, like to manage than a bunch of now heroin addicts because they started out as pill users or whatever.
Right.
But I, you know, like it's on the, they're talking about driving on marijuana. I couldn't imagine driving. I'd be too paranoid. Oh my God. I would be looking over my shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
But I can't, unfortunately, as much as it would, it would be better for me to have been using marijuana. I can't mess with it now. I know that I would smoke it for the wrong reasons, and I can't risk it. Now that's not to say that medication assisted therapy is a bad thing. So like you were talking about your cousin in drug court, and I know that there are people in drug court and all kinds of people who use some sort of medication assisted therapy like Vivitrol or Suboxone or I'm trying to think of there's sub blockade. There's all of these different medication assisted therapies that people can use to come off of an opiate medication or alcohol, because Vivitrol you can do for alcohol. Now that being said, no judgment for somebody who needs to use a medication to assist them with their journey, because there's like methadone is tricky, right? Because methadone is basically just kind of swapping one for another in my mind. Now, granted, I would much rather that somebody be using methadone than heroin, like needle heroin. But that said, with methadone, there's no controlling what the user is doing with it, right? Like you're still technically getting a little high from it. Well, you're getting high from it. You're getting the same effects as heroin, basically, but in a liquid form. And yes, I agree. Ditzy says methadone is a leaky band-aid. Now, something like Suboxone, okay? Suboxone is a medication that you can use, but it has something in it called buprenorphine, which is, and then naloxone. Naloxone is actually Narcan. So, and I will answer your question in just a second, Lee. Naloxone is Narcan. So that means that with Suboxone, well, Mia, that's kind of what I'm talking about right now. I've been taking Suboxone since I went into recovery. It was a decision that I did not take lightly, because I still needed to be able to manage my pain. And unfortunately, opiates are not an option for me. Methadone was not an option for me. And like I said, I can't do marijuana. So I use Suboxone. It does have a chemical in it that tricks my brain into believing that I'm receiving dopamine like I did when I was taking opiates. That's the buprenorphine. The naloxone that is in Suboxone means that I can never take an opiate medication with the Suboxone, or I will go into instant withdrawals. So I can't go out and take Vicodin. I can't go out and take Oxycontin. I can't go out and take fentanyl or whatever. It would make me so sick, like I was when I went into recovery. So it actually it's both a pain relieving medication, and it blocks my my body from being able to take opiates. So that if I was to, I guess, feel real stupid and go out and try some other sort of, medication or whatever, I would be so sick, I wouldn't even be able to manage. Lee asked, since your recovery started, how has the outlook been, and what positives have you seen that you never thought you would? Well, I tell people often that my recovery journey is very singular. It's very unique in that I don't know many addicts who go into recovery, they come out of recovery and they do outpatient therapy and they do meetings on meetings on meetings on meetings, and they make their whole life about recovery and they stay sober. I tell my kids, I'm a terrible example of an addict because I went to treatment, I got sober, and I stayed sober. That doesn't happen a lot. And so, one, I tell people my experience is very unique, but it's not a unicorn. It can be attained. You just every single time, right? Um, and so there's that. Two, the positive things that I've noticed is that, especially with my channel, I've met some amazing people who were looking for recovery or who are in recovery. And I've been told by people that my channel and my whipping chats and the fact that I'm so open about my addiction and the struggles that I've had with it, that it's helped them with their addiction and their struggles. And that's what it's about, is spreading the message to the next person that recovery is possible. And I have seen people do some incredible things. In fact, one person that, I think you should meet, Tam, and have on your channel. Her name is Noelle, and she's from Diamonds in Recovery. Noelle is in her first year of recovery.
I've heard of her.
She has, in the last 9 months, done some incredible things. She is just about to the point where, because she's been going through some CPS issues, she's about to get her own apartment. She's about to get her son back. Everything is going right for her because she's making the right decisions. And that right there, that is the reason that I keep talking about sobriety, the reason that I keep telling people that it's possible. And I just tell people every day, keep pushing. And like, it's no system is perfect, right? There are going to be people, because I was reading Eve's comments, some people do well with Suboxone, others end up misusing it, and that is true. um we all have to go about our journey in different ways. For some people, that's going to be Suboxone. For some people, that is absolutely nothing, no drugs, not even. There are people in Narcotics Anonymous that believe that even taking like prescriptions like Prozac, that's considered a drug to them. I am not one of those people, because it's mood altering, right? Prozac. I am not one of those people. You need to take your mental health medications.
Mm-hmm.
And just like people take mental health medications, I take my Suboxone because it's the thing that I need that keeps me on the straight and narrow and clean. And so, I just tell people that your recovery journey is your own, and you got to do what's right for you. And I have seen so many people that have had success stories simply because they understood that your recovery has to be tailor-made. One, you got to want it, and you got to want it more than you want anything in this world. I couldn't quit for my kids. I couldn't quit for my job. I couldn't quit for my husband. I couldn't quit for my money. I couldn't quit for my health. I had to quit when I was ready to quit.
Right.
It wasn't I'm quitting because of these reasons. It was, I'm quitting because I want it. Mm-hmm. And you have to want it. And so if my sobriety journey includes taking Suboxone, I've not misused it. I've not had any issues. And my pain is managed in a way that I can continue to live my life. There are good days and bad days as far as the pain is concerned, because I have 4 actually bulging discs down in my lumbar region of my back, and without becoming worse for surgery or better, which it really won't become better, I just have to manage the pain the way that I manage the pain. And a lot of it is getting up out of my chair and walking. I can't just sit here and diamond paint for 18 hours a day. I get up every couple of hours and I go for a walk, even if it's around the block. I have to get moving. Um, and then I have to just, I can't, even though I was able to quit using alcohol very back in the day, I can't even have a glass of wine. I don't trust myself. It's unfortunate, but um it'd be nice to, be able to have a glass of wine at the end of the day and relax, but that's just not going to be the life for me, unfortunately.
I mean,
Kudos to those who can, but not me.
I did that, and you gotta do what best to you. But you
Right.
got other ways of winding down. For instance, your diamond painting, or
Yeah.
with your family and your friends. That's what amazes me about people who are in recovery, because they have found things like through the art or their family and their friends or activities
Oh, bumped you.
to get through the day, get through the hard times.
Yes.
And I love your diamond painting, by the way. I think you're a beautiful diamond painter. Uh,
Oh, thank you. It's funny. I actually found diamond painting while I was in inpatient rehab. Um, there was a woman that was out in the community area, and she was working on a diamond painting, and I saw her working on it, and I asked her, "Hey, what's that? Like, what are you doing there?" And she explained it to me. She was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like, if cross stitch and color by number had a love child." And I was like, "Okay, I'm into that." I used to try cross stitch. Yeah, that's only ever ended up in disaster. But I sat and I watched her for a little while, and then she said, "You want to try it?" And I was like, yes, I do." And she gave me a just one of those, crappy little styluses. She didn't have anything as nice as this. It was like literally just the little, the regular little stylus thing, like this kind of deal.
yeah.
And she handed me a pen and let me sit and diamond paint with her. And I found a zen that, one, it it speaks to that part of my mind that is very meticulous and um likes things to be just so. And it also, like, the parts of my brain that enjoy the sounds in diamond painting, like the popping of the putty, or the putty, or the wax, or the way that, the smell of the putties, or just the sounds, the lining things up just so. I have autism, and so diamond painting scratches all of those little autistic, you know itches that I have, for, like, one, you know, I had a talk yesterday with, I have a Discord group for those who are not, there's a large group of us, and we get together and we have like a nightly voice chat. Tam's part of my Discord. Um, we get together and we have nightly chats about stuff. And last night, we were talking about my speed, my diamond painting speed, because I can finish a diamond painting in 3-4 days.
I know.
Um,
What?
it's it's crazy, right?
It is.
Um, I think I think that's probably due in part to autism, if I'm honest, because
Mhm.
autism gives you like this hyper focus on things.
Right.
Um, but they're like, well, maybe you ought to slow down so you enjoy it more. And I was like, am I coming off as somebody who doesn't enjoy it? Because I love it. I'm having a blast. So I'm trying to slow down a little bit, enjoy the process a little more, although I enjoy it just fine. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with the way that I diamond paint, but apparently some people were like, maybe you're going too fast. I'm like, well, okay, I'll slow it
No,
down for a couple of days and see how it goes.
no, you don't do what's best to you, and
Yeah, right.
and really, we all diamond paint and our own speed.
Yes.
I'm
And mine just happens to be mock is all.
And that's fine. I'm noticed that, which I mean, I can down and paint a lot more now. I have a little more time, but even when I didn't have that much time, um, or when I had all the time in the world, I'm a little slow, and that's okay, you know.
Right, but you go at your pace.
And if you're enjoying the process, it it's okay. I love your
And I
tiny.
do. Yeah, I do. I love it.
Oh, I can
Um,
tell. I can tell.
I've I've really found a craft that I know I'm gonna stick with for the probably the rest of my life until my hands become so arthritic that I can't do it anymore, or like my carpal tunnel finally won't allow it, then maybe I'll quit then. But I think I found a hobby that's gonna stick with me because I've had a lot of hobbies that I've picked up and did nothing with, or started a hobby and then I've got so many started hobbies around my house, it's ridiculous, but this one is one that has had some staying power.
Well, um, diamond painting calms me. I mean, it's
Yes.
really I can have a very painful day. There are days where I really have a hard time getting out of bed, and any times I don't. And diamond painting, I get lost in that diamond painting, and I forget
Mhm.
pain.
Yes. Yes, that too. And
Yeah.
I feel like it has definitely helped for that reason as well.
Mhm.
Definitely. Now, um, I know you're in a wheelchair, right? But
I
um what sort of disabilities or whatnot, like what are you struggling with?
I have a neuromuscular disease.
Okay.
Don't really know what I have. It's a form of muscular dystrophy. Uh,
Okay.
they did testing on me back in '77 when I was 6 months old. My mom realized
Oh.
that I just wasn't moving like a 6 month old lady does. I can't sit
Yeah.
up. I can't roll myself over. Uh,
Mhm.
I had very little doubt. Like I can balance myself that if you tap my arm, I'm doing over like a trees in the wood. But and I have a slight speech impediment, and that's because I don't have the strength to put my lips together. So I had very very weak muscles, and the mouth here. That's about
Mhm.
it I can do with one hand.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
the hand, a book, and so I can't really. I don't have any paralysis, none at all. I
Okay.
can all the millions that I do. I had scoliosis, and I started getting it when I was 11, and they wanted to let me wear a brace until I was 16 to do surgery that I could
Okay.
place that long. But 13, I had 2 rods put in my back,
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't have the pain, my whole life until I hit 30, and I went to bed one night just fine, and I woke up and I felt like I had been ran over by a truck.
Oh,
And
wow.
Lord, yeah, and I told my mom, I said, "Well, mom, my disability finally caught up with me," and she just
Mm.
broke down in the tears, and I was like, "Don't cry, you know, I can't do anything about it. I gotta live through it."
Right.
Went to the doctor, and they examined it, and I need to have to have a lot of severe nerve pain, and
Yeah.
my problem was I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get up and walk around,
Yeah.
any hobbies, and then my cousin suggested diamond painting, and I said,
Yeah.
sure, I'll try it. What is it? And she said,
Right.
you should have asked first. And I said, nah, that's not my style.
No,
So,
jump in with both feet.
yeah, and I fell in love with it when I laid down that first drill. And I just felt all the anxiety and the
Yes.
emotional. I was bottling up my emotions because I don't cry much. I don't. It takes a lot to make
Yeah.
me cry.
Yeah.
When I laid down that first drill, all the anxiety just melted away, and I just
Yes.
in the tears. I said, "This is what I've been missing," and it changed my life for the better. It had led me to this point in time with you.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Absolutely. You know, I find that especially where it relates to recovery and addiction and mental health, this moment of meditation, right, with your canvas, laying down drill, finding that like calm, quiet center, it's like it it's a meditation in a way. You get to feel just really you just let it just if you allow it to let it wash over you, allow the experience to um just be what it is. You can really get a lot out of just diamond painting for your own mental health purposes. I mean, I know how, and I was talking about this last night too, that I can look back at every diamond painting I've done. I can hang it up. I can admire it for what it is. I might have painted it super super fast, but I look at that diamond painting and I remember the conversations I had while I was working on it. I remember if I was working on it during a live and the things I might have talked about, or I look at it and I remember what was going on in my life. Like, if it was, I was dealing with something sad or I was dealing with something happy. And every, in every square, right, that I've worked on, I can look back at it and go, that's what was happening here. That's where I was there. Having a YouTube helps because it's almost like having a journal of, you know, uh, a journal of what you've been doing or whatever with the whip and chats and the lives, whatever. And so I can look back in that way. But when I look at the diamond painting, it's like I can see where I've been. It's a whole journey from the first diamond painting of the year all the way to what will be the last diamond painting of the year. And uh Kara says, I don't have anxiety or depression, but I'm off the charts ADHD. Really center. See, my trouble is I thought I was dealing with ADHD, and because there's so many comorbidities between the two and there's so many similarities between the two, ADHD for me was actually autism. And they're very similar. Like there's so many similarities, it's hard to tell the two apart. And I have a whole family here of autistic children. I have two autistic children and I have an autistic husband. He hasn't been diagnosed, but I don't think it would take a genius to diagnose him, honestly. But we it's funny how we all kind of struggle in our different ways, but diamond painting for me has really, like I said, it hits all of those little neural like happies that happen with regard to um autism. And so I've just been happy to find something to scratch that itch. And
yeah,
yeah, some people do have ADHD and autism. I believe my son is probably one of them. um but yeah, it definitely helps with just calming the mind and almost mindfulness techniques as well. If you are going through recovery or what have you, even just for mental health reasons, you can really use diamond painting for mindfulness practice. I mean, it's good for everything. The only thing it's not good for is, unfortunately, I am a victim of FOMO in a way that I can't even describe.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it sucks real bad. I get anxious, I get irritable, I get and in some cases I cry. It's like, it's hard. I'm an emotional shopper too, so that doesn't help, but I am so susceptible to FOMO. And so I'm trying to branch myself out to companies, and I'm not naming any companies, I'm not dogging any, I would not do that. But I'm trying to branch myself out to more companies so that I have more options, and then I don't have to feel like if I don't get that painting that it's going to be the end of the end of the world or whatever. Um, my my one weakness is Margaret Morales, which is
Yeah.
which is part of why I'm running the event in December. For those who are not aware, I'm doing a diamond paint along in December and January called Mary Morales. For those
Mhm.
people who love Margaret Morales as much as I do, it's going to be a diamond paint along where we're celebrating the works of Margaret Morales. It has to be licensed, but I reached out to Margaret Morales because I wanted to ask her if she could be on maybe one of my lives during December or January. She's going to try and do something in January, but she also is sponsoring the event. So I'm like so stoked about that. Like, I could pee myself, seriously. Oh my God. I'm just excited.
That's cool. That's very.
Yeah.
And if one of
Yeah.
to the Naomi channel, I would appreciate that. Um, yeah, I was listening to your listen chat, and I heard
Yeah.
about, wait, what? That's awesome. That's
Yes. Oh, I'm so stoked. And I mean, I've just been in love with Margaret Morales's work forever and ever and ever. Um, like, I've been obsessed before diamond painting. So the fact that, like, I was like, my birthday is the 2nd of December. Um, and I I was like, I want to do a Morales painting, for my birthday and whatever. And then the community was like, what about, can we do an event? And I was like, I mean, I could probably run an event for a Morales sort of thing, whatever. Yes, there is a Facebook page for the event, Eve. The only thing is, like, it's not quite ready yet. I'm going to open everything up on November 1st.
okay.
Everything will be opened up. But if people, one, watch my channel, two, you can also, may I share my Discord with your group?
Yes, yes, please do that.
Okay, I noticed that one of my usual mods, Michelle, is in the chat. Michelle, would you mind grabbing the Discord link so that if people wanted to join the Discord, they can?
Yes,
But that way, because I'm in Discord every day. We have nightly chats and
I accident. I
yeah.
I did. But yeah, I need to
So,
tell you that to share it, please.
oh, okay. No, you're fine. So Michelle said, we as a community have to help each other fight FOMO. That's one of the ways that I have also been very, very, very lucky. Is that well, one, like I said, I'm so susceptible to FOMO, and it's a transfer addiction, right? Like, buying to like sate that need to make me feel good. There is a transfer addiction there. And I'm so lucky that I have a community on Discord where we sit and talk about those feelings and how to battle them and what to do. them and how to get through it, you know? Um, you're not sure you can link the Discord in Tams? Just in the comments? It doesn't let you put it in a comment?
Does it not let you? Can one of you guys get her Discord, please?
I'll grab it. I'll see if I can get it. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Invite link. Here we go.
Just let you. If not, I'll try.
Oh, it's like connect your YouTube account. I don't do that.
Hold on.
Oh, Lee's got it. Lee's got it.
Lee's got it. Okay. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Maybe one of my mods had to do it. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. So, oh yeah, maybe people can't share links unless they're one of your moderators. Yeah, it could be. But yeah, so we get on Discord. I call it Discord after dark after my lives. We go onto Discord, onto the voice chat, and pretty much, you know, one, after all of my lives, and two, basically every night anyways, there's someone on the Discord up and ready to talk, and we talk about those kinds of things, like how to battle FOMO, like how to get through the emotional turmoil that's happening in your body, because it really affects me, I think, probably greater because I'm a recovering addict. But yeah, so it's important that people are able to have a community or a group or a somebody to get them through that. I mean, now I'm not going to lie and tell you that my stash is not ridiculous, because it is. It's a bit ridiculous. But a lot of that was acquired, you know, over time. Like my stash didn't grow overnight. So some of it is, you know, FOMO, and then some of it is just diamond paintings for a while. But yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard.
I find myself wanting and I'm wanting to try to get things, and I'm like, no, you can't do that right now. You don't need that. You need to just step away. And but it is hard. It's really, really hard. It really is.
Well, see, and the problem is Margaret Morales is my soft spot, right? Like that's my blind spot, my soft spot, it's my spot. And man, if Dak has not been just churning them out, I tell you. It's like, oh my God, I want you to keep going, but I want you to stop.
I know, I feel sorry for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Margaret Morales. Not that I don't love her. I haven't gotten my hands on one of hers yet.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's still lots available, but they keep putting out new ones all the time. They just need to slow down with that. My wallet can't handle. My wallet cannot manage. Oh my gosh. But I have well, so far I don't have the Diamond Shop. I don't have her Diamond Shop ones, but I have all the Diamond Art Club ones from Margaret Morales. That's my one and only, like, if they drop one, I give myself permission to get it, because she's the one. Well, there's a couple of artists, but they haven't dropped any of those artists in a while, so I've been okay. But yeah, she's my weakness, man. My kryptonite.
Oh, she did. I love her artwork in her, and the way she does eyes. I mean,
yes,
just absolutely. The way she does those eyes, they just draw me in. They suck me in. I mean, it's just
yes. It's just
one of hers. I do. I want one. Not planning on getting one. I mean,
yeah. I was gonna say, Kara. I know you love your Dakota Dateweiler.
Oh, I tell you what, I never done Dakota, and then I got my hands on Pegasus constellation.
Ooh, that's a pretty
Yeah.
one.
And I got the enhancement kit for it. And it took me, oh Lord, I don't know how long it took me. And it was, I loved it. I mean, I fell in love with her artwork. And I told
Yeah.
my mom, I said, oh, my mom, I thought they shouldn't have done it Dakota. She said, oh no, why? And I said, gee, I love her artwork.
Oh, yes. It's good.
I never had a Margaret Morales. I never had one of hers. Not
Oh,
not I don't want to. I love Chroma and Dragon.
yes. Yeah. Actually, so when I did my 24-hour live, I was working on Ajisai. I finished Ajisai during the 24-hour live, and then Chroma dropped right at the end of my live. So I got Chroma right after the live ended. It was a double whammy for me. Just like yeah, Eve is saying so much of her work has an Asian theme, and it's a double whammy for me. Everything about her is a triple, quadruple whammy for me. It's whammy. It's all whammy. Oh my goodness.
The first one I ever saw was her, the Dragon Theory, and
Yes, Dragon Spirit's beautiful.
I gotta get that. I gotta get that. I love Dragon Theory. I think she is just.
That actually might still be available on DAC right now.
I tell me, well, I'm trying to do good and not dying
Oh,
after
yeah.
Christmas. But, and you know, I was not going to use any points until Black Friday, but I
Yeah.
kind of did because
Uh-oh. What'd you get?
I got, well, I like sharing the stuff, and I got a couple of her pieces. And then they get me with the Charlie Browns, and they just get me with the things that I love. But the one that I really wanted was Sharon the Stoppage.
Oh, yes. The Sarah Mustafas have been beautiful.
I don't know how in this deal, them in this deal. So yeah, I kind of, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm kind of glad though because I need to spend that money on others and not myself. So
Yeah.
I stay away at Black Fridays. I may just put them out until after the holidays and see what they turn up with. Cause they didn't. There's a. I love the Cat Fedora, and I
Cat
would
Fedora's good too. Oh my gosh, yes.
love
And
getting my hands
now
on.
she's over on Jada Gem Shop, right?
Yeah, and she's an Mennonite.
Oh, right. Yes, she
Yeah.
is that. Yes, you're right. She is at Muni Made.
I actually don't have a Mennonite canvas. That's on my that's on my
Oh.
yeah. I'd love to try a Mennonite canvas.
So I just did well, I did a canvas from her 1.5 theory. She's since the 1.5, she's switched manufacturers. And okay, I don't know it for a fact, but I think that there's a couple of companies that have the same manufacturer. And I believe that Muni M has the same manufacturer as another company that I've recently worked on. And if that's the case, I'm going to be so pleased with the 2.0 canvas because the grid is tight. The drills are gorgeous. A beautiful friend of mine sent me albino mermaid as a gift. She's been on my unicorn list for a minute, and a friend sent that to me from Muni Made, and I cannot wait to work on it. But I'm trying to hold off because I don't want to just start it and then chew her up so fast because I work very fast on paintings.
How long did you say? What's your average time to finish a painting from start to finish, like a large painting?
Well, okay, so like depending on if I put a lot of like work and thought into getting it done quickly, like Grand Canal, I I took several months with that one just because I only worked a square at a time, here, there, whatever. Same with this canvas. I've taken my time with this one. But like, okay, so for instance, let's see. No, not that one. Not that one. Trying to okay, so like apples took me 2 weeks. That one is a 51 by 71. Paint the moon took 2 days, and that one is a 33 by 46.
I love that one, by the way. Just hang it on the wall.
Oh God, it was my first ever square piece that I did, and that one took no time at all. February 20th, 28th. Took me 16 days to do symphony. Let's see. Catch Me took me 6 days.
Wow.
Ajisai took me 2 weeks. That's a big one too. She is a 65 by 95.
Is she that large? Wow.
Yes. Magical Moonlighter, I got that one done in a couple weeks.
I wanted that one so bad.
Voyager, I finished this one in 13 days.
Wow.
Alice, I finished Alice in 6 days from Sarah Mustafa.
Yeah.
Try to Follow, I got that one done in 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Artist Room, that one took me 7. That's a small one. That's kind of a small one for me, though. She's a 42.6 by 52.7 and round. And rounds go fast anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see. Those ones aren't done yet. My Lazy Rivercraft Mermaid Tea, this one.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, she was around. She took me a week and a half. Rainy Day Mermaid took me 10 days.
I had that in my stash.
Oh, that one is so much fun. You need to do her. I love working on her.
And I got copper sparklers to put on the ledge. And I got double the white lunar double round to put on the windows to the raindrops. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that'll be good. The Morrigan, I got her done in 2 weeks.
I remember her. She's nice. She's pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Artist. I don't know who that artist is.
Chrisabug.
Yeah.
Yep, Chrisabug. Let's see. Teffy took me 2 weeks. Solstice, I'm still working on Solstice. I got this one, Heidi. I got her done in 3 days.
Really?
I couldn't put her down.
That looks heavy. Do you like confetti or do you like
this one was confetti. I like a good mix of both, and this one was a good mix of both.
It looked very confetti heavy in the headpiece.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. That one took me 7 days. That was a 50 by 35, just a little art dot piece. Yeah, I got obsessed with Heidi. Jamie is right. The Muni made Blues Room. That one I got done in 9 days. 9 days.
Oh, that's a cute one. I like it.
It's so cute. And then my Captured by Radiance one that I just finished recently. Yeah, this one took me 6 days.
Wow, how large is it? What size is
this one is a 50 by 71, very confetti heavy, but man, she was fun.
She looked fun. She does.
My little snack sized piece from Indigenous collection. This one took me 3 days.
Oh,
it's just a little one. And then, yeah, that's what So like when I tell people that I'm a fast diamond painter, one, I don't sleep like normal people. I don't believe in sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. But I don't sleep very, very well. Part of that is autism too. Like autism does not allow for a really good sleep schedule. But then I just get so focused. It shouldn't be protected or private, but hold on a second.
Yeah, well, I even looked too. I cannot get it.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send it to you in a private board, Tam, and then you should be able to just share the same link.
Okay, that'll work. That will work. Cause I looked too. It's not.
Oh, whoops, that's you. That's not my Discord link. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
It apparently didn't try to let me copy the link. Come on now. All right, there we go. There we go. And if my mouse will behave itself. Okay, here we go. There's a link for you.
Okay, that should work.
Let me be able to share it.
Yeah. Well, it will let me. I would love to. Hold on.
If anybody goes to, like, honestly, if you go to any one of my like most recent videos, there should be a link on there that works. But otherwise, Tam, I think, is going to be able to put it into the chat.
Yeah, let's see. Try this side. Let's see if that works.
How many hours a day do you diamond paint? As many as I can get away with. I honestly, okay, it was expired. Well, poops, ditzy. Poop. Well, that one should work. The one that Tam just posted, because I just grabbed that one fresh. Honestly, I diamond paint as many hours a day as I can get away with. Without, like I probably would say I diamond paint most of the day when I'm able to. I mean, obviously when I've got other things going on or whatever, I can't, but whenever I get an opportunity, I'm laying down diamonds.
Yep.
It's just I love it. I love it so much.
What's your favorite genre?
What's my favorite what?
Genre. Like, do you like fantasy or what?
I'm obsessed with portraits. I love portraits. Or I have found that my stash consists of either portraits or it has abstract landscapes.
Abstract landscape.
Yes. I haven't done an honest to God landscape. I've only done abstract landscapes, and I only have abstract landscapes. So I'm trying to pick a landscape that's actually like a true landscape. The one that I've found that actually like fits the description, sort of, kind of, mostly, is Little Lizard Garden. That is very high on my like kick a puppy list. I would do bad things for that diamond painting, but I have to wait until I have some money because it just restocked.
It just restocked. I know that's how they get you.
I know, man.
And I'm like, oh man, really? Why now?
I'm just hoping it doesn't sell out before I've got money to spend on it again, because that one is very high on my wish list.
I wanted Solo Destroying so that when it first came out, and I was cart snapped immediately. So
oh my gosh!
And I was cart snapped again. So then it restocked again, and I got it no problem. So my thing is now, I don't even try on the third try. I wait until like the second restock is when I try.
Yeah.
Third restock.
Absolutely.
The bad thing with that, I did that with Esmeralda, and I didn't.
Oh, and missed it.
Yeah, they had her
People are selling that for $300.
ridiculous, and you can get it now. The one with the diamond art. No, I wouldn't do it. No.
Yeah, no, Oh, yeah, and Michelle said Naomi's full-time job is YouTube, which is true. Yes.
Yeah.
So I diamond paint a lot because it's also like kind of my job.
Yeah, it is a job. I found that out. YouTube is. I love it. Do not get me wrong. That you really have to put some work into it
Yeah, yes.
to make it what you want it to be. And I promised myself that I did this thing, I was gonna do it right. And I was
Yes.
gonna do all of it. And those when that's how I'm gonna dedicate my time, the diamond painting and my channels, because I
Yes.
wanna let that go a little bit, and I gotta get back to my roots because I kind of lost myself there for a while. But
Yeah. Well, and I think that a lot of people believe that you can just kind of, uh start up a YouTube channel and then call yourself a content creator. And while yes, in some instances that's true, there's a whole lot more to it than just
there is.
it is. It's a 40 plus hour a week job. It takes time to edit and make the thumbnails. Like, yeah, there are people out there that I've noticed they kind of I would say no offense, but I kind of mean a little offense when I say there are people out there that they slap up a video, there's no thought put into it. It looks like they recorded it from their basement with no lights on,
Mhm.
and you can't hear anything and you can't see anything, and
Yep.
and it's very sloppily and lazily done. um and so, like, a little offense meant when I say, you got to put the work into it.
Do.
um there's just too many people out there that think they could just, turn on the camera and somehow the work is gonna come from somewhere. I don't know where, but there are also a lot of people that that I've been watching or whatever. They put the work in. Like, you've got to put thought into the thumbnails. You got to put thought into what you're actually presenting. Or there's people that believe that they can just be an unboxing channel, and sure, you probably could do that. I mean, people have. Obviously, it works for some people, but I think you just got to be more than that. And I appreciate that not only do you do these lives, Tam, because you're also bringing awareness to other issues. It's not just, I met these diamond painters and they're really cool people. It's there's a point behind why you have guests on, and I enjoy that. I don't always come into the chat because I'm in the middle of doing something, but I watch when you have people on, and I'm always fascinated to hear where people are from, what their story is, and how they got into it. um
Thank
yeah,
you.
and like Ditsy's saying it, like I spend time on my thumbnails. It's not like I just slap on my some lettering and it's done. And you know what, Kara, I love the fact that your husband person, and I so badly want to get you a t-shirt that that says, "Can they see this?" Because
Yeah.
you're always asking your husband, "Are they? Oh no, are they getting this?"
I need to make you this. Are you sure? Are you sure? He's like,
Right. I
sure.
love it. I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
You have pre-production meetings before every video. That's sweet. I like Nancy from Pampered with Diamonds. She also has her husband that helps her out with her YouTube videos, and I find it hilarious. Dustin helps me, but it's usually like he's over my shoulder sitting down just making side comments, like, it just peanut gallery. That's all he does for helping. Makes little snide comments. Like yesterday at my live, I was talking about the first person who decided to go and drink like milk from a cow. And I said, like, who just went up to a cow's udder and was like, mm. And he's like, "What, you mean finger nipples?" And I was like, "Oh my God, Dustin, why?"
God.
He just pops in, what, finger nipples? I was like, oh, get out of here. Go find something to do.
Lisa, thank you. I do, the Lord is live. I'm prepared. I did my homework. I did my homework today, today. I did last night. I sat down. I I think about who I'm having on. That's the main thing. You can't just ask
Yeah.
just that little, how are you, this and that. No, I really think about who I have on, what their issues are, what's going on in their life. And I just sat down and I think about respectful questions that I myself want to know, and I'm sure you guys do. But the one thing that really is important to me is that they feel safe, and so therefore every lied. And I did it with Naomi. I did it with Tara. I did it with all of my death. I'll message him the night before and I'll say, is there anything off with it? That's all I want to know. Because I
Right.
don't want it to be in the chat. And that's what's important to me. It's not about me looking like I just did, interviewer. I don't think of myself that way. I want to spotlight you guys because you guys made me. And I was up to you, and I think that um, I'm gonna get emotional, but you're
Mm.
treating me with such respect, and I'm the baby. I'm the new creator, and
Yeah.
you never once said no. I don't think you're ready. None of you have, and that means a lot to me. And so I learned everything I learned from you guys, and I did a lot
Yeah.
of homework before I started my channel, and I still wasn't ready. That had Lee threw me out the bus and said she's ready, she's starting it, and then Ken bought me a tripod, and I really did not have a reason not to do it. Then I was just scared. And I enjoy it. I love it. I really did love it. So I'm gonna get back to putting my full time energy into it because it helps.
Mm.
It does help me. I thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me. And the one thing I wanted to ask you before we wrap it up is your autism.
Yeah.
How did you, when did you diagnose that?
Honestly, it's funny. I am turning, God, what year is it? I'm turning 44 this year. And the the funny thing is that autism never entered my mind as a this like ever because women are the best at masking it. When we come up with autism as children, we learn how to mask very early. The girls who had autism when we were in school were the usually the kind of quiet weird ones, the astute ones, the ones that had weird obsessions with things like horse girls. And um I didn't think about it as an issue, and when I to the therapist that I'm seeing now, he is a trauma and ADHD and autism specialist. The
Mm-hmm.
trauma was the thing that drew me in because I have a bunch of trauma that I need to work through. And so when I went to see him, he was like, "Have you ever had anybody tell you that you have some signs of ADHD or autism?" And I said, no, no, I haven't. And over the last year and a half that I've been seeing this same therapist, we've been kind of slowly going through the testing. And more or less, I didn't need an official from him diagnosis, like down on paper. because it's weird to say, but when you reach a certain age as a woman, having certain uh already outer disabilities with your age and your gender make things impossible, like getting certain jobs or whatever. People look at you a certain way because you're of a certain age or you are a certain gender. And I did not want to add an extra hurdle to get over. So that as a quote disability when it really isn't in the traditional sense of the word. I asked him that we not put anything down officially onto a piece of paper that I take around with me or whatever, but it's in my file. It's been in my file for the last year. But I didn't want him to like officially put it into my diagnosis chart because I didn't want it to handicap me when it came to certain jobs or certain
Yeah,
things, because whether or not we like it, people will discriminate based on a lot of different things.
they do. They do. And I don't. I'm lately, and I kind of been this way my whole life that I never really thought about it. That I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, do you think that I could have a form of ADD or ADHD?" Because you can ask the people that know me, that not close friends. Sometimes I'm all over the place. I got a thousand
Mm-hmm.
going on in my head at once, and I swirl. I'll be in the middle of saying something, and then I'll just stop and I'll start something else.
Yep.
And most of the time, I never make it back to what I started out at.
Oh, okay.
I don't, and I just feel like I have a thud in my head all the time that I
Mm.
quieten down. And I've been thinking about that lately. I think I might mention it to my doctor just to see what he thinks. Because
Absolutely. Do you now, just out of curiosity, do you see a therapist?
I do not. No.
Um,
Um.
because
Hold
while
this.
doctors prescribe the medications, right, for ADHD and things like that, but a therapist is going to be a good, and I would see if you have a ADHD or autism specialist in your town,
Mhm.
um because they'll be able to, I mean, because the process of finding out about ADHD and autism, like there's a whole testing procedure. It takes longer than just walking in, getting a diagnosis and walking out, which is
Right.
both good and bad. It takes several weeks of testing autism to get a diagnosis. I got my testing. I did not I got a diagnosis, but I asked them not to put it like officially onto my record.
Right.
But it took weeks of getting there, So your primary doctor, like, they'll know things about the medications for ADHD, but I would definitely talk to a therapist or a specialist, who is a therapist or counselor or whatever, in your area to talk to about that, because doctors, they give you the meds, but they can't really tell you about the rest.
Right. Well, it's just a thought that went through my head, and
Yeah,
I know
yeah, and
that
it's
one.
worth asking.
Yeah, it's like that, and I'll be honest. I don't. You don't have to drive me to the doctor. I hate doing it. I
Yeah,
do,
yeah, yeah.
but I need a flu shot right now, and that means I'd have to leave the house. And if I leave the house, I can't do anything or watch on the YouTube
There
channel.
you go.
I'm telling
There
you,
you
I'm doing
go.
hypnosis now on this YouTube, and I
Yeah,
mean that I had like I wish I could show you my dent over here. The things that I need to film. It's not even funny. But I'll get there. I'm
yeah.
slowly getting back to normal. But Naomi, yeah, sure. Thank you for coming on today. I
Heck
do.
yeah, it's been a blast.
I really have enjoyed it, and I'm watching the chat, and they have too.
Yeah.
They have.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
They had that one day just to hang out and party is what I say because
Heck yeah.
on the day that because like I said, I did these once a month. I did it twice a month this time because I'm the one that did it, guys. I thought I had her schedule to know them. Did not. Just at 10. I thought we, and I'm like, we are in November. She said, no, you need to schedule
No,
it. I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry that I am. I
nope, that's
did.
fine.
And when I looked, I had you written down. I didn't have you written down in the time slot that I thought. I, I just, I just, I'm sorry. So
That's okay. In your head, we had a whole conversation we never had. It's fine. I
I
have
know.
those too. I
Well,
got ghost conversations with everybody.
well,
And
I'm not waiting to November. I'll just have her on this month, and I'll have two specialized, and then the next time, I would like to have you on just to have fun on my regular
yeah.
out of control live that goes off the rails fast when I
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Like I hope Chad's doing okay.
he's in my closet.
Oh boy. Boy,
I'm
oh
not.
boy.
I'm not burning out at Halloween. I'm not. I'm not now. I'm not burning out at Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah, that's a little scary. You scare
Yeah,
the neighborhood kids with Chad.
I know. I'm working
I mean,
on
he's
it.
awfully buff and muscular too, so you don't
Yeah,
want to
right. I know.
you don't
Don't.
want to have issues.
I don't know what Lee's gonna say. But don't listen to him. What were you
Right.
gonna say? Come on. I don't
And
care.
then
Goodness.
and then the other thing that I did want to mention too is I will, until I'm blue in the face, say that if you or someone you know are struggling with addiction or alcoholism, you can reach out to your primary care doctor, you can reach out to a friend, reach out to Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. Reach out to your local emergency department. They can get you a referral, but reach out to somebody, I mean, even a crisis line. And then if you want to know more about mental health or autism or any other like specialty type things as it has to do with mental health, one, you can speak to your primary care doctor, speak to your therapist, but definitely involve a medical professional. Like they were saying, sometimes it involves a neuropsych, but just make sure you involve the right people and don't let Google diagnose you. You need to be diagnosed by a medical professional.
Yes, you do. I've made that mistake. I will never do that again. Thank you for putting up her channel in the tail. Thank you for mentioning
Yes.
that. I was gonna ask one of you to do that. Um, I'm also gonna ask Nana to please put in your own link. Don't argue with me. Just do it, please. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it without you guys. I
I'm
just
sorry, I do not self promote. Plus,
Nope.
leave.
I heard plus and then nothing else.
That's how we dinner, but put your LinkedIn later. I will. So there.
Ooh, Lee's gonna
You
get in
need one
trouble.
that until he likes to test me, Naomi. He does. He likes to test me. He
yep,
tried.
yep,
Mm-mm.
that's going to be the next law. Yep, yep.
She's gonna come at you with a shoe.
I am. So please put in your link. I would really, really appreciate it.
She's
Please just do
to
that.
find it.
And thank you, Ditzy, for sharing the number. I appreciate it. I believe it's also, you can also, if you're struggling with mental health issues, you can hit, is it 611 on your phone?
Uh, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I started to thoroughly, and that's in so. 6-11, I think it is, or eight. No, it's 6-11. It is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 611 on your phone that you can find somebody to talk to if you are struggling with any serious mental health issues. But
Yeah.
man, I super appreciate you having me on, Tam, and I'm glad that we were able to 988. Okay.
988.
Um
Where'd I get 988?
Yeah, where'd I get 611? I thought
I don't
611
know.
was Michelle says it's 988. They must be right. I won't argue with Michelle.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm glad
Yes.
I didn't know that. The Christopher, she is in timeout, okay? She's not being a very good girl today.
Oh boy.
And she
Can't have that.
Yeah, when I had my sexual I did that. So I hear Dean's a beautiful dog, by the way. Do you have a beautiful
Thank you. Yeah, he's a beautiful pain in my booty, is what he is.
Oh,
Somebody walked past on the sidewalk, so he thinks he needs to. He thinks he needs to put in his 2 cents. But anyway.
Oh, thank you. Oh my Lord, Kara, that's your name, Kara.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes,
for
that is her name.
I'm all over the place today. I know. I thought somebody said, well, why don't you have her on Netflix? I said, nope, not changing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to push through. I can do this. And I did it. I'm here.
I appreciate it. You did fine. You did great. I don't know what you were worried about.
I know. I did them. I worried about making you guys feel special and safe. No, not just safe and not antsy and pressured. And that's the main thing I want is that you're comfortable and at ease.
Yes.
And you
had a great time. Had a great time.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You know what, Christopher? I'll tell you what, just to you. Alexa, set volume to 10. What would you like her to do? And I will allow her to do. 1. Christopher beat you died to it, so I'm sorry. But they love my Alexa. I don't know what it is. But I really have enjoyed you guys being here. And thank you all. It means the world to me that you've chosen to spend this, well, almost 2 hours. Yeah, my life just fly by.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
But I will let you guys go.
Alexa, play Thunderstruck.
No.
Ooh, there we go.
No.
You don't want to get that copyright strike anyways.
Come on. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, Naomi. See,
yeah.
To put him in the background.
Right? Don't get her those copyright strikes. They'll come for her. But thank you again, Tam, for having me on. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you again real soon.
Absolutely. You guys have
all right
day, and remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Always. Okay? And I love you, and I will see you in my next live and my next video. Bye, guys.